Rather than using art to express an emotion, I'm more interested in using it to understand my and maybe our place in a larger system that seems increasingly difficult to understand. Hi, I'm Jenny Odell, and we're here in my studio, which is basically my living room, in the Mission District of San Francisco. I make work pretty much only from secondhand imagery from online sources, usually Google Maps, but also things like YouTube, Craigslist, Yelp, anything where people are uploading information. I am usually dealing with large amounts of information and organizing them, so I've sometimes been compared to a natural scientist or an archivist because of the ways that I'm arranging and collecting information. One of the things that happened when I went to grad school was that I had just moved from Berkeley to San Francisco, so I was getting lost a lot and spending a lot of time on Google Maps trying to figure out my environment. And pretty soon I realized that Google Maps could be used for artistic purposes as well as practical ones. While I was in grad school, I spent a year and a half taking a virtual road trip via the internet in this project called Travel by Approximation. Travel by Approximation takes the form of a book. It's a combination of images that I've collected from Street View, but it also includes a fairly detailed travel narrative. To do that, I basically used Street View to navigate, and I would Photoshop myself into screenshots from Google Street View. And what was really important for that project was the parameters that I set out at the beginning. So I could only drive as far in one day as one would actually be able to drive. I had to stop for gas based on the mileage of my actual car. I had to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I had to stay in a hotel. And I couldn't look up things to do before I got to the city. I had to find them visually on Street View as though Street View were kind of my windshield. Most of my projects start with just kind of surfing in the old sense of surfing the internet, spending many, many hours either scrolling around on Google Maps or just going down some kind of circuitous path on the internet. And I think that that's a really important part of any project because it's the part where I'm gathering material. For example, in 964 round parts of wastewater treatment plants, I scoured Google Earth for interesting specimens of wastewater treatment plants, which I really love, and cut out the centrifuges and digester eggs from them and arranged them into this composition. And the thing that I really like about arranging things this way is that it allows you to see the individual characteristics of these structures. They sort of start to take on almost personalities when you see them next to each other. I did a project where I looked up or tried to look up the manufacturing origin of every single thing that I used or bought or interacted with in some way during the day. So starting with my phone and my glass of water in the morning, moving through the day, including things like Muni, my office chair, things like this, all the way until I went to sleep. The form that it takes is a website. So it's basically a grid of product photos that you mouse over and you see, to the best of my ability, the manufacturing origin, so it could just say China, or it could actually be a satellite image of the actual factory in the Philippines where my deodorant was made. I think this is probably one of the closest things I have to a self-portrait, but I like the idea that it is that only insofar as I'm using these things. So my day is kind of defined through these peripheral landscapes that are referenced by the objects that I'm using.